Hey, good evening, folks. It's Dean here, your passive income coach. And look, I just wanted to put together a bit of a short video on something that's really, really important right now, and that is the psychology of a market. Right now, certainly this last week in particular, has been a bit of a sea of red and a bit of a bloodbath in the cryptocurrency market. And I'm getting a sense there's a lot of people out there right now are really stressed, and which is natural. There's two components to any market: fear and greed. And right now, a lot of people are very, very fearful. So what I wanted to do was run over a couple of things that I've learned along my way through trading. For those that know, that I used to trade commodities and options and futures contracts. And I got out of that a while ago, and obviously crypto's brought this back in. But obviously the psychology behind it is still relevant. And for most of you, this is the very first time you've been in a market and have some money in the market that's actually going against you. So what I'm going to do is just share a few things with you. Hopefully try and set your mind at ease, some things to really think about. But at the end of the day, it's your money. You've got to make the decisions based around the information that you have at the time. But the biggest challenge you're going to face right now is not so much about the money, it's about what's going on in here. So that's what the purpose of tonight's video is going to be. So let me start with sharing my screen. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin chart over the last month. So basically since first week of January until now. That's not a pretty picture. And as I said, for a lot of you, you would have got into Bitcoin, up somewhere up here between the 16,000 and the 24,000. And you've really just seen negative results ever since. So I don't blame anybody for feeling worried about what the heck is happening in Bitcoin. So, but in particular, look, and this will apply to everybody, but in particular, I really want to focus on the people that put into the Devore coin program, give you a bit of an update on that as well. And then how is this going to play out? Because there are a few people that put in a significant amount of money into Devore coin, and they're obviously feeling the pinch at the moment. So we're going to cover that. So this is basically where we started taking in payments, right around this $14,000 mark. Okay, right in here. It was a great week to do a program because the price didn't fluctuate too much. All the prices were roughly the same. And what I try and do, because I've got people paying in cash and I've got people paying in Bitcoin, I like to try and keep it as, even and as fair as possible, because obviously Bitcoin has a tendency to fluctuate. So basically, as people were chunking money into my personal account, I was doing sort of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 deposits from my personal account into CoinJar, and then I'm basically just converting all that into Bitcoin because it was all stable at the $14,000 mark. I've got a bit of a moth running around here, and so that's all well and good for if the market's going up, but it becomes a bit challenging when the market comes down. So basically, right here you can see. We started to collect payments on the day. Oh, what was it? In here, it was in this window here, and it was Thursday, the 1st of Feb. That's right. We were going to try and get it on the Thursday, the 1st of Feb. So right there was the day that we were going to look to actually do the Devore purchase. Okay, I had a bit of money coming in still, and this is in the afternoon, and I was ready to make the purchase. And Devore had really gone down at that stage, and then Bitcoin followed suit. Okay, and this was the week following. So it was during this week we'll come out with a bit of a plan, and we decided that, hey, look, with the Devore coin price so low, let's put in 10%, and we'll see how Devore goes. And I'm going to cover that in a second. Okay, and then Bitcoin had a bit of a recovery, and then it really just bottomed out. Okay, and this is basically like yesterday. Okay, now right now, and this is so important, right now you've only made a paper loss. Okay, so if you put in up here at the $14,000 mark, let's say you just put in one Bitcoin, you put in 14 grand, or let's say half a Bitcoin, 7 grand. Okay, you have half a Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin has gone from 14,000 down to nearly 7,000, so it's halved your money. Okay, Only on paper though. So you still have half a Bitcoin. Okay, now this is really, really important. One thing I've learned over time, and you'll hear this in the media and you'll hear this by successful traders, is do the opposite of what the herd is doing. So right now, in this period here, the herd is selling. This is fear, okay? People are liquidating their Bitcoin. This is people that have been bought all the way up in here through this period, and they're really worried because they've lost a lot of money. Now they're here, and it's really starting to come down really quickly. And what's driving all of this is people's fear that they're going to lose everything, okay? Now, there's a real simple way for the Bitcoin price to stop dropping. People need to stop selling, okay? The only reason price comes down is because sellers will take anything for their Bitcoin, okay? So what you got to appreciate is during this period of a massive decline, this is people trying to liquidate fast. So they basically come to the market and go, look, I'll take whatever I can get for my money, just buy my Bitcoin off me, okay? And then they're willing to sell it at a lower and lower and lower price. Now, here's the thing. In the Bitcoin market, as with any other market, for every seller, there has to be a buyer. So somebody is buying up everybody's Bitcoin, okay? And it could be multiple people. I'm not saying it's just one person. But there's obviously people on the other end of the trade thinking that Bitcoin is at a good price and they're buying it, okay? So I want you to think about something. Back when you got started with USI, no matter what time you got started with it over the last few months, don't you wish you had the opportunity to be buying in packages when they're at $8,000, $9,000, rather than having to buy packages when it's at $15,000, $18,000, $20,000? So you have that opportunity right now. So you got to think that mindset. How was I thinking back when it was 15 grand? Man, imagine if I ever had the opportunity to buy at 8. You'd be buying up as much as you can. Okay. The difference right now is you've got chunks of money in the market, and what you're thinking about is, oh, I've lost all my money. Okay. So right now I need you to start thinking about what's the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is starting to sell. You should be thinking about holding on. And that's a real challenge. That's the psychology of trading. You want to be doing the opposite. And I'll give you an example as well. Last night, Devor has been tanking. Okay. As we know, and this is my personal Devor account. This is the group account. We bought 3,054 Devor over the period of time. Okay, and then we bought it at about $3. All right, so we bought about $10,000 worth at $3. It's now down to 30 cents. Okay, so it's gone down 90%. All right, which is why the price has gone from $10,000 down to $1,000. Okay, now again, what do we do? Do we liquidate? Well, what's the point of liquidating? That was the 10% that we were going to chuck in. So last night, I thought, screw it. I'd been given, $1,700 in repayments. I've got $5,000 in here already. So I've got $6,500 and we're down to 27 cents. This account was down to like double figures. And I thought, do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So what I did last night is I actually put in another $1,000 of my personal Bitcoin and bought the price when it was basically at 27 cents. So I'm pretty much just broken even now. And so what it's basically done is it's allowed me to get a whole heap more DAV coin. So, it's only got to go up a little bit. And, imagine if the price goes to $10. So the price goes to 10 grand. All right. I'm going to have 10 grand. If it goes up to $10, all right, I'm going to have $32,000 worth of Dogecoin. Okay, so and it doesn't take much to move, obviously, from where it is now up to $10, especially when it used to be at $30, right? Which is exactly the same concept as we did for the group scenario. So for those of you that are currently down a lot as a result of the Devor purchase, because you bought 10, 12, $8,000, $9,000 worth of Bitcoin to put into this, and when you put in 10%, you got two strategies. Well, you got three things you can do. You could liquidate. All right, I've got to send you back the Bitcoin, and you could liquidate it, do what everybody else is doing, sell your Bitcoin and get out, and you're going to confirm your loss. You're going to lock in your losses, and you'll take the hit for whatever you're down. You could sit on it and wait for it to come back. All right, and simply just weather the storm and wait for the price to get back to, you know, that sort of $13,000, $14,000, and you'll be back to break even, right? And you'll have all your Bitcoin back, and then you could cash out and put whatever money you've got back in. Another recommendation could be you could simply put about $500 into your own personal Devore account while it's at 30 cents. Okay, again, it's big risk, but $500, put it in at $30, and I suggest that you do this relatively quickly. And you know, if the coin moves from 30 cents to $2, well, that's going to go up about 7 times. So your $5,000 or your $500 will turn into about $3.5 grand. Okay, and that might cover you the difference for what you're short on the Bitcoin ledger. Okay, so you'll make that money up, convert it back to Bitcoin. That'll cover the difference. Cash it out, and you're all good. Okay, so there's a few options there. You can just sit on it. All right, simply wait for the sit on it and wait for the Bitcoin price to come back. And we're going to have a look at the current Bitcoin chart at the moment. You could liquidate out, all right, cash in, say, screw this, I'm getting out, I'm going to bail. I would recommend against that. I don't know if I'm allowed to recommend, but I personally, I wouldn't do that. Or as I said, you've got a little strategy here while the price is down so low. Again, we've got it in the group syndicate, but for those that are really down low, you know, go and put in a couple extra $100 into DAV, and you know, fingers crossed that the price moves from 27 cents up to, you know, $1. Even if it just went to $1, that's gone up 4 times. So your $500 will become $2,000. So there's an opportunity there for you. All right, just to finish off, all right, is the current price movement. So this is Binance. So what I really like here, so this is the price movement. Now this is in US dollars, not Australian. And this is since when are we back here? The 17th of January. Okay, so this is this is a 6-hourly chart since the 17th of January. You can see that in US dollars, it's gone from that $13,000. It went all the way down to $6,000. Okay, and basically just bounced off $6,000. But what I want to draw your attention to is look at these columns down here. This is what we call volume, right? So this is the amount of transactions that were occurring in every 6-hour period. Okay, now if I sort of hover along here, all right, this was sort of the average over that. Geez, I can't even get in there. There we go. That's somewhere along there. So that was basically the average. So you can see there that it's around about 4,800, 5,000 Bitcoin being traded every 6 hours. That's really low. Okay, so there actually was not a lot of volume during this time that was going on. Okay, so when there's not a lot of volume, it doesn't take much to move the price, because imagine if there's just one, so imagine in a property market where in your suburb there's just one sale in the next 3 months, okay, and it's $50,000 below market value, all right? That, if that's the only sale and that's the only data people can go off in that very small amount of sales, then, you know, everybody else thinks, oh, the price has dropped 50 grand. Well, it was just a small sample. So again, this is what really stood out to me, is the fact that over these last 2 weeks, volume has been really low, even though the price has dropped, okay? And then in the last 24 hours, volume has picked up significantly, all right? We're talking like, so back here, we were at like 5,000 Bitcoin being traded, you know, per day, per 6-hour period. Here, you know, we're talking 27,500 Bitcoin. You know, that's significant. 25,000 Bitcoin here. This is just a few hours ago. Get on there. You know, nearly 29,000 Bitcoin at this point in time. So there's a lot went on in here in these last sort of 12, 24 hours that have really started to turn around. So we've basically, what I feel like is we've cleared out the final rush of people running out. Okay, so this is the final liquidation. This period in here, there's a lot of people who were just holding on. Then eventually said, you know, screw it, we're out. And basically the market tanked from, you know, here. Okay, just get on there, because there's so much going on my computer, it's so slow. So from about here at $9,000 to $6,000 in like a day. Okay, you can see that little row of red. All right, right through there. And you can also see the volume increasing. So when you see signs like that, that's people finally had enough. Okay, it's called the final capitulation, and everybody's just getting out. Screw it, just sell on my Bitcoin. But now what we're seeing is a lot more buyers coming into the market. Okay, buyers are now forcing the price up. They're going, awesome. You know, I've been waiting forever for $6,000 to get into the marketplace. You know, and now I can really buy in. Okay, now who do you reckon would want to get into the marketplace when it's down around about $6,000? Okay, the institutional investors. Now, I received this from one of our team members today. I'm going to post it up. Okay, and basically, I know this is probably a little bit small. So this was discussions on forums that basically indicated that, you know, from the 18th of Feb, big banks, Wall Street, all these hedge funds, all these institutional investors, they don't want to be paying, you know, $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 US per Bitcoin. They want the price to come down. So how do we get the price to come down? Well, we start, you know, advertising and telling everybody that Bitcoin's bad, that the exchanges are broke, and, you know, the people are going to get hacked, and, you know, the countries are going to like turn off Bitcoin, and it sends fear into the marketplace. Everybody starts selling it, right? And Wall Street are rubbing their hands together going, excellent, this is exactly what we want. We want the price to come down. Okay. And so what's happening is that the media and what we call the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt, or FUD, is really caused everybody to sell out. Okay. Now we've got people moving in. All right, the institution's now starting to buy it up at such a great price. So this is where your psychology is so important. This is where you need to hold on. If you're a believer in Bitcoin, now's the time to hold on. Okay, don't sell out. You know, get into USI and start compounding it. You know, when it's such a low price, get into some mining and start mining it, whatever the case may be. But now is the time to go against your gut feel and hang on. Okay, and as you can see, we're starting to see some really good price movement. We've gone from $6,000 at, you know, that's on the 6th of Feb, and we're up over $8,000 US, you know, on the 7th of Feb, a day later. We've already moved up $2,000 literally in 24 hours. Now, that's not to say that we can't turn around and go back. Okay, because sometimes what will happen is there'll be people up here that wanted to sell, but eventually got too low for them to sell. Okay, and they suddenly went, you know, well, I can't really afford to sell at $6,000. I make too much of a loss, so let's just hold on a little bit longer, and we'll wait for it to come up to $7,000, $8,000, and then we'll sell and we'll cash in our profits. So right now, the next 24 hours is going to be a very interesting period. I'm hoping to see some really strong price growth. I'd like to see a lot of this volume stay up nice and high. And it just shows that a lot of people are starting to move into the marketplace. So look, that's it. I hope that I hope that just sort of gets you to start thinking about, well, what can I do during this period? Remember, you know, Warren Buffett, all these sort of guys in the trading market, they always say, don't follow the herd. Right? The herd lose. Okay, the people that make money don't follow the herd. They do the opposite of what everybody else does. So, you know, right now, the people that are going to make the most money are the people that do the opposite, which is buying Bitcoin at $6,000. Okay, now that's not us. You know, these are the big risk guys that are coming in at the lowest price and then they're buying it up. For us, it's just simply don't sell when everybody else is selling. Hold on through this period. Simply wait for it to get back to what we need it to get back to. Okay, which is, you know, for us upwards around this sort of $14,000 mark. It needs to sort of get up to about here. Some strategies that you can use, as I said earlier, sit and wait, or, you know, maybe take a little bit of your BTC returns and throw it into Devor. Not a lot. Don't put it all in. You know, because Devor is really, you know, it's petering on a bit of a cliff to fall off, and then potentially let that go. And you know, put in a couple $100 if it triples, quadruples, goes up to $2. You know, I'd probably just sell it. You know, get your money back, and that will cover the difference. So there's some options there. Just finally, before I finish up, there are a number of people that that still need to share with me a Bitcoin address. Okay, so I need either a CoinJar address or a Bitcoin address to be able to send back to you your Bitcoin. All right, I've got the spreadsheet there. I'll post it back up again fairly soon, just with a bit of an update. But if you can please get me back, or get to me your Bitcoin address, I can get that Bitcoin returned to you. All right, folks, look, that's it. You know, it is a bit of a tough week at the moment, but, you know, this is the nature of what we do. stay strong, weather the storm, and let's see Bitcoin turn around and get back up over that sort of $10,000 Australian mark, which it is at the moment. And let's have a look at what today is in a shorter time frame, you know, and hopefully we'll see this keep going. There we go. We're already up over sort of 10,500. You know, this is just today. That's really good positive signs over the day. Okay, coming back off from $7,500, you know, Australian, you know, up to, you know, we've nearly doubled overnight. So that's some really, really good signs there. All right, look, that's it. Take care. I look forward to bringing you a bit of an update on the Bit Club network once the Bitcoin Cash payments are up. I've had a lot of inquiries about how does this work, how do we get involved. Right now, you know, just keep asking questions until the Bit Club network has finalized their Bit Cash payment system. You can't actually buy in at this stage. You can just simply go to the website, have a bit of a look, and check it out. But it's certainly, it's a simple, easy to use mining mining setup. I think when I had a look at the blockchain data, Bit Club network is the 10th largest mining pool in the world. So there's absolute transparency of what you're doing, how you're making money, all that sort of stuff, all the things we don't have to worry about in some of the other programs that we've looked at. You know, it's just simply mining for Bitcoin, or in pretty soon Bitcoin Cash. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much, and take care. And again, just leave any questions down below and I'll try and get them answered for you. Thanks very much.